Okay.
Hello, friends. Happy May 2025. My name is Missy Shipman, and I'm delighted to partner with Julia at the Baldwinsville Public Library to bring you another session of our Zoom card making class. And we're delighted that you're here, either live playing along, crafting along with us, or joining us with the replay. You can add your comments here. We do our best to catch them while they come in or to respond to them following the event. Tonight we'll be making 3 cards, and the goodie bag came in a fun little paper, plaid printed paper bag ready for you to regift something special, maybe for Mother's Day or Father's Day, or a happy gift for a neighbor coming up in the coming months. And we'll be making 3 cards. We'll be making a fun turtle card tonight. This is from a new suite from Stampin' Up. Turtly awesome and turtly cute. Really, really fun. And I love music, so I'll share a little bit more about that when we go to our turtle card. We're going to end the night with that one. We have another card project that has, there's 3 cards, and in your kit, you'll have one of the 3. These are super easy to assemble, and I'll go ahead and share all 3 tonight. You'll find in your kit which pieces you have. They're just a really classy, clean card. That's part of a kit called Loveliest Wishes Kit. And it's a non-stamping kit. And what that means is when you order it, it has the pieces, the die cut pieces already printed, cut. And this one has some beautiful gold foil. And they're printed, and you get different languages. So you can choose the language of your choice for your greetings. But we're going to begin with, we're going to set those aside because we're going to begin with our 3rd project, which has this coral printed envelope. And inside are some fun goodies. I shared about the different languages. In this case, we have different language, little pennants, little banners. So you can choose. We have English and French and German and Dutch. Now, you might know someone who speaks these languages, and that would be really cool to delight them with a greeting. Or you might want to educate someone and delight them with a learning opportunity where they can receive the card from you and they can Google to find out what that word means and what the language is. Or you can use these banners, just flip them over, write your own message or stamp your own greeting on them, depending on which one you choose to use for your project.
Can you say again which languages they are?
Yes, yep. So we have English, hello. We have bonjour en français and French. We have the hoi, which is a Dutch greeting, and the hello, which is a German greeting.
Thank you.
They all say hello tonight. Sometimes they're a sentiment that's longer, and I don't know how to fully translate it. So that's a fun one to send to a friend who enjoys travel or international learning opportunities. It's fun. You'll also have some little gems in your packet for this one. There are 3 sparkly gems, and then our card parts. Now, the card base is already pre-scored for you, so you can fold on that line. Sometimes we use our bone folder or a finger or thumb. You can use the back of a spoon to make a nice crease. And there is our card base. So to create the card, we're going to do some layering, and you will need some adhesives. In your little packet tonight is a square of dimensionals, or rectangle shape of dimensionals, and we'll be using these on the projects tonight. They are the smaller, they're called mini dimensionals. They're a little bit smaller, but still pack a mighty punch. They will hold your card parts together beautifully. So we'll start by adhering the coral piece to the card base. And again, you've got the dimensionals to use. You can use those for all of the pieces tonight, and it will simply pop and raise up your project. Or you can layer with some adhesive. My preferred adhesive is the multi-purpose liquid glue. And dot, 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 not a lot. You need just a little. You might have a tape runner or a glue stick. Those will all work well. I've got to get it started for me. I always forget to do that off camera before I get started to get my glue flowing here. We're going to get that started. Maybe have to grab another one if it's not going to work. Well, I have another adhesive I can try here. This is a tape runner, And this kind of adhesive is nice to use. It's very neat and quick to apply. So I've got that double-sided sticky tape on there, and I can position my banner. It's it's not centered here. I've got it a little more to the left and a little more to the bottom of the card. Again, you can work with the pieces any way you like to create your card. Next, I'll add a little adhesive to the floral pieces here. And are these called gladiolas? Maybe often they grow very tall and strong in a garden. And then I'm going to do a French greeting this time.
I think they are
And
gladiolas. I think
I
so.
think they are. They're really lovely. I know they have a strong stalk so they can, or stem, and they can grow very tall. So I'm going to go ahead and put bonjour. I have a neighbor next door who is a senior in high school. She'll be graduating soon, and she is a French student. So it's fun if I'm giving cards either for her, either a card I'm sharing with her for her, or a card that she can then use to surprise and delight someone. So a card she could make for her French teacher or another friend who's studying French along with her.
And
Now
so
there are,
on the
uh-huh.
inside, if it's for a graduation, you could say bon voyage with your future, or bon
I
voyage.
love it. Exactly. Bonjour, bon voyage, I think there's a bon courage, maybe might be another example of like courage, having courage. But yeah, I studied French in high school, so I know un petit peu en français. I didn't retain too much, but I do enjoy the melody of French speaking.
Moi
I love the
aussi.
Yes, oui, oui, mon ami. So there are trois gems, and I'm going to position them kind of in a triangle shape. You know, that's my trick to draw our eye around the card. There's that little bit of sparkle, and by positioning them in that triangle, it helps draw our attention and center it here in that lovely greeting. So this card I love. It has that printed envelope as well. You could, of course, add another greeting or stamped image on the front, but that was a quick and easy card to assemble. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about our kits collection and paper pumpkin cards, because I can have the satisfaction of assembly with my choreographed crafting, but I didn't have to cut and punch and find all of my tools. Everything was more simply gathered. There we are. So that's our first card tonight. Our second card, as I said, we're going to make one of these three designs. Now, it doesn't show up as well on camera, but these papers have a wonderful texture to them. Let's see if I can get it to grab any. It's kind of a linen feel on the paper, and there are sweet little foil accents on each of the cards. So let's start with this daisy one. If you have the daisy card, we'll start with that one. Let's see. So I'm going to peek and see which one is this is my daisy. The daisy card has a full card base of this lovely basic white. It's a very smooth paper. This particular paper does not take ink as well as our other cardstock. So if you were to want to stamp on this, my recommendation is either to use a StazOn ink, which is an alcohol-based ink, or to print something on another piece of paper and put it inside your card. Rather than stamping with our standard classic ink, it will tend to smear. Just this, it's very smooth, it's pleasant to touch, but it doesn't want to take that ink very neatly. Also, you could emboss. If you have heat emboss tools, what you can do is use Versamark, put powder on here, and then heat set it. And what that does is it melts the greeting, and so it wouldn't smear at all. But I just want to warn you, this isn't a kind of paper that's great to do an all over stamping project, because it will smear. Okay, so we have our card base scored, and then we have this pretty textured paper. It's got a linen look to it, and it's just hard to catch on the camera, but trust me, it has a almost a pebbly finish to it. And we're going to adhere that to the paper with some of our dimensionals. I generally like to put one in each corner and one in the middle if I'm adhering a piece like this shape. So we'll pick off those little wax liners and add it to our card front. There we are. And you're just going to center that so it will have a nice frame of the cardstock around it. This is a tone on tone card or white on white. It's very classy. It's meant, reminds me of like a wedding invitation or a special confirmation invitation or anniversary invitation. It's just a really elegant paper. And then we're going to add these little pieces that are intended to look kind of like washi tape. I think it shows up a little better on the black. They have a watercolor wash of the peach color, and then one says cheers with that gold foil. So let me see if I'm heading in the right direction here. I'm going to use my dimensionals again and put some on the back of these little pieces that are kind of supposed to look like torn paper or washi tape. You'll notice they have a straight edge, but then the edges are kind of wrinkly or torn. And just have one little dimensional on each end of those.
I'm wondering if I'm missing a piece.
Okay.
I
Is that
have
the one you have, the daisy one?
I have the oh, I see. So it's a daisy or it's the
Yep.
this other one. Okay. So
Yep.
okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah. So we'll do that one next.
I
This
was
is the
just a
one.
little
Yeah.
confused.
Sorry, I wasn't clear. This is the one with the daisy. So if you have these card parts, you'll be assembling that along with me. It's very similar construction for each card, but I do want you to see. I'll go ahead and do each one. Basically, I'm using these wonderful dimensionals to give the card this pop. I'm lining up. I have 3 pieces. And, oh, that one I didn't take the dimensionals off yet. There we go. Make sure I'm centered here for you. And the white does make it a little tricky to see on camera. There's my lights are, I want bright lighting, but it seems a little bright tonight. And then for my sweet daisy, I'm going to put one dimensional in the center of the back of the daisy. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my adhesive here and uh, tack down that leaf, either with a liquid glue or with a tape runner that you might have or glue stick, because that piece is going to rest right on this bottom piece. But I want the daisy to have a little bit of oomph there, popping off of there you can see all the layers here. So where the daisy is, there's actually 3 layers of dimension, 3 of those pop up dimensionals. I just think it's lovely. It's very simply elegant. If you decided you wanted to use this for an invitation, what I've done before is print out on regular cardstock or copy paper and then place it inside the card. That way you can use your different fonts from your computer. If you wanted to just use this as a congratulations card or a wedding or birthday card, you could handwrite in here. Just be aware, like I said, that this particular paper has a finish on it that can easily smear. And we all know sometimes our favorite ink pen can do. I'm left-handed, so I know when my pen smears because I get a lot of ink on my hand. So just a caution with this project that the ink will smear easily. Okay, the next one we can do is this pretty card with some vellum pieces and leaves. It's very lovely. This one says birthday wishes. It has some gems. We love the sparkle. And these are vellum, this little piece of laser cut vellum, which is a translucent paper. It's lightweight, it's a little bit fragile. So as we work with it, we want to be sure not to push or pull too strongly. And then it has this, it looks like it's been sponged. The fern has kind of an ombre print to it. Okay, so if you have this one, you'll pull out those elements and we'll fold on that crease line. We'll start by putting the leaf piece on. And this you'll see, what's so clever about this design is that to make it easy to glue and to know where everything lines up, the pieces have these bars of paper. And so it's going to make it very easy for us to line things up so that it's designed symmetrically here. not exactly symmetrically, but you know what I mean, with the four corners lined up straight. All right, so what we'll do is first adhere the, I'm going to put some adhesive on that white strip and line up my vellum right on top. See how I can just manage to line up those two pieces together. And then now this piece as one piece, I can adhere to the card with my dimensionals. Okay. There we are. Now I'm sad to say I didn't get out any May baskets this year. A tradition I enjoy is delivering to a neighbor or a friend a little basket or paper cone with some candies or flowers in it. I did not make that happen this year, but I think a card like this would certainly delight a friend. And it's never too late to share a card, uh, a belated birthday or a happy May, um, a thinking of you. So there's the birthday wishes, and you can see how much now that little bit of gems that we're going to add, how much of a sweet sparkle that adds. And we have these gold sparkle gems, and they are self-adhesive, so they already have the sticker on the back. You can just use them with your fingernails. Some people like to use a pair of scissors or tweezers to help grip that. I tend to have the best luck with my fingernails, but I can show you here how I just use my scissors to kind of lift that from the plastic and then place it where I want it on the card. And that can help us control it, especially if the adhesive seems, if you're finding that it sticks to your fingers too much, because it is sticky. If there's any questions, feel free to add them in the chat. Julie is great at catching those, or I can always watch on the well, these comments won't show up in the YouTube video, but so if you have questions, if you're watching the YouTube, then you put questions in that chat. All right, so that's the second of those cards that have that really elegant feel. The third one is a square card. So this card, we can't mail in the regular envelope without extra postage. The envelope that's included in it would be wonderful for a gift enclosure, or if you're giving flowers to someone or a special gift. If you want to send the square card through the mail, my favorite thing to do is just put it in a regular envelope, another envelope that's the right size. And that's easy to do. But this card that's square, you'd have to put additional postage on. So talk to your friends at the Baldwinsville Post Office right across from the library, and our friends there will help you make sure you have the postage correct. This card can be a landscape or a portrait card, meaning it can be like a tent on someone's dresser or opened as we would normally a traditional left to right opening. This one I'm going to make as a tent card because I think that's really fun when I work with, especially with square cards, but any shape card that can stand like that. I think it's a little bit special. So once again, we're going to use our dimensionals. We'll take the one in each corner and one in the middle. And you'll see my dimensionals I'm running a little bit more low on because I have a corner piece that has this nice thick piece, and those are like gold for crafters to save those thick pieces of foam. So when you're done with all these little hexagons, be sure you save the strips along the corner. Here we are. This one has some foil dots, and I like for them to be over on the bottom right of my card. And I'm going to again center it so there's a little bit of frame all the way around, and it just gives that a bit of shadow.
So some people have this one and some people don't. Is that right?
Yes, this is the one. There were 3 different cards so that I used for when I made the kit. So you either had the daisy card, the green fern card, or this happy birthday card.
I
Okay.
see. Okay.
And then we'll finish up. Everybody will complete 3 cards tonight, but I'm making actually 5 just so you can see, depending on the one that came in your kit today.
Okay. Thank you for
Yep.
clarifying.
Yep. And this is a kit. If you're thinking, oh, I wish I had this daisy one, you could reach out to me. And it's a kit that you can complete when you come to the library for our in-person event, or you can reach out to me and I can help you have that as a purchase kit so that you'll have the other designs. The kit
Yeah, and
comes
I
with
have,
supplies to make
yeah.
9. So you'd get 3 of each or
Mhm.
2 of each, I think. 2. Yep. What was
I
your
was gonna
question?
say, I have there are still some that didn't get picked
Oh,
up here, so people can still
super.
come to my office and drop off the money and pick it
And
up.
pick up another set. That would be wonderful. So the vellum, like I said, is a translucent paper, and I don't want a lot of adhesive to show behind it. So I'm going to be strategic about where I put my adhesive. And you'll notice the happy is going to cover up this sort of center left section of this printed vellum. So that's where I'm going to put my adhesive. I want my glue to be underneath that piece so that it's not going to show. It's a lot of adhesives won't show through anyway, but you do want to be cautious. You don't want to have big blobs of glue or big sticker adhesives underneath. But that's plenty. I just had a little under this tulip, and that's going to hold that in place. And then next, we're going to pop up the happy. And of course, this kit came with happy birthday, but you could make it be happy anniversary, happy friend, happy May, or any greeting that you like by switching out this little element. This says birthday. You could flip it over and write whatever greeting you wanted on it. Or you might have a stamp sentiment that would fit on that strip as well. Okay, we'll take away these little liners, which end up everywhere in my home. Place that across. Let's see now. And lastly, we're going to add that birthday. Again, with some adhesive, you can use your liquid glue or a tape runner glue or a glue stick, and we'll place that on top. So it's just layering over the happy there. Happy birthday. So those were the 3 cards that are part of the kit called Loveliest Wishes. And it does actually make 3. If you order this kit, it makes 3 of each of the designs I showed tonight. It's just a really lovely kit. So we have the daisy, the fern, and the tulip happy birthday. And those envelopes feel really nice as well. Set those aside for us. And we're going to finish up with our turtle card. So before we start the card, I'm going to show you a few of the other pieces that are in this suite, which just released on Tuesday, May 6th. Brand new products from Stampin' Up! And they're a lot of fun to work with. So this is the card we're going to make tonight. And you'll get to choose which orientation you'd like, if you want it to be a stand-up card or a flip open this way card. And then inside we have the greeting. Hope your birthday is turtly awesome. We do have the heat on tonight. It's chilly, so I just kicked on. Can you hear me okay? Okay, terrific. It is a little bit noisy distraction. So I love the turtles, and I love that there are turtles doing all kinds of happy things in this paper. So we have turtles that are ready for a birthday party, making a cake or bringing the balloons and gifts. And then on the back is that fun music print. We have turtles ready for a beach barbecue, and some of them are cooking out, grilling. We've got a sunburned turtle here with a cool drink, and a swimming turtle. They're a lot of fun, and some birthday stripes. We have some picnic turtles. They're biking and relaxing and having ice cream and pedaling their bike and going on a picnic. That's a lot of fun. And a turtle print. And the one we're featuring tonight on our card are the musicians, the banjo and the trumpet and the accordion and the bass drum, along with another turtle print. And then finally there are, I still have 2 more actually. This one is, I think, my favorite one. This one has beekeeper turtles. Isn't that funny? Now, the designer of this paper, who works for Stampin' Up! In Utah, she created this paper, and she shared that her dad is a beekeeper. So she was delighted to be able to use the beekeeper in this designer series paper, and that's a lot of fun. Or bird watching, lots of fun hobbies. And then the last one is sort of scenes. So you can put the turtles in the different scenes with this paper, which is a lot of fun. But for tonight, we're using the musicians, and I love them. We're going to use some garden green ink. Now, the project we're making has a little bit of stamping, and you might have some stamps that you want to use as well, or some ink. But also you can handwrite a greeting, like a turtly awesome greeting if you wanted. Here are two other cards created with this stamp set, just so you can see some more of the little pieces. There's a microphone, a flower, a hat, a cake. So you can make your turtles do all kinds of adventuring. So everyone has this kit in your package from the library, but you might have a different turtle than I'm showing. You might have an accordion turtle, a banjo, a trumpet, or a bass drum. Or yeah, that's what that one's called, right? The marching band drum. Okay. And then you'll also have some little gems. They might have slipped out into another part of your packet. So look for those blue bumpy gems. And we have several stripe pieces to showcase the different turtle patterns. So on the one side, you might catch and have a smile there. I've got a couple smiles. Or there's one that has some little birds. And you can decide to use the front or the back of these. You might want to make it so all these little turtles are peeking out at you, or maybe one is, and then the other one is a design. That's up to you. That would actually work on this one. If I made my card a vertical card, I could have those little guys joining the party. Or you can flip them and make it so they're all just happy designs here. The thin one actually goes on this flap. So that one has a space that has to go. But these three, you can maneuver any way that you would like. Okay. I'm going to actually put it so the green is at the top of my card. What we'll do first, before we kind of decide on your orientation, you might want to decide, you want to fussy cut your guy. Some of the turtles are facing to the left, some are facing to the right.
I just want
And
to do a quick snapshot of one.
oh,
I love
sure.
this little
Oh,
guy.
isn't that fabulous? He's got his glasses and his ice cream and the flowers. That's terrific, Julia.
He's like
Very fun.
a cross for a library.
Yes. Very, very good.
Yep.
Yeah, these guys, the turtles, I think would enjoy visiting the library. They've got a lot of good energy here. So depending on the way your turtle is facing, that might influence how you make your card. For example, in this case, he would be facing to the right here, and that's okay. But I would prefer for him to be facing into the card to the left, or maybe he'll be at the bottom of the card like this. So as we work together, you can make that decision depending on how your turtle is facing. There's no right or wrong with this. Your card can open to the left as a traditional card. It's always fine to pop this and open it to the right. This is a unique fold. You'll see your paper has a score line at one end that you'll score into the card. This is like almost a matchbox kind of card, matchbook, I mean. And then there's this piece that pops up. And so that tucks in, see, like this. And again, white on white is hard to show on the computer, but you'll see that this flap goes in underneath that little circle, half circle piece, okay? So then as we work along, you'll decide whether you want it to be an up and down card or a sideways card, or you can decide. But we'll start by fussy cutting. So I've shared with you before, a great tip for fussy cutting is keeping your scissors in the same position. Now, when I cut, I generally don't cut with my arm like this straight out away from my body. I normally would hold the scissors. I'm left-handed, but I cut with my right hand. So I'm holding it off to the left like this. Just feels, you just kind of pick up your scissors, and how would you normally start cutting? I don't think it would normally be straight away from your body. Normally we kind of curve it in. So however your scissors are comfortable when you're cutting, that's going to hold that position. And what's going to move is the paper. So my left hand is going to turn the paper, but you'll notice my scissors are staying pretty close to that initial angle of, does that make sense? This allows you some control when you're turning the paper. Now you might like the music notes around your turtle and you don't have to cut them close. You can, I'm fussy cutting, which means I'm going close to the image, but you can leave on those extra notes if you like. That's fun. But see, my scissors are staying pretty stationary. It's
Move
my
the,
left hand
you
that's
move the
turning the paper.
move the paper, not the scissors.
Exactly. That allows you more control so that you can get pretty close to the turtle. You'll notice I'm leaving a little bit of white. That's my personal preference. And most people I know, well, I shouldn't say that. That's my preference. You might choose to go right close to the turtle. What I like about having that border is it takes a little of the pressure off to get it just so. If I was trying to go right close to his body, I'd have to go much slower. And I would be a little more nervous about cutting into him and losing some of the shape. But once we fussy cut him, he's going to be ready to add to our circle. Now, you can notice here I added some texture by stamping in the same color. So again, this is tone on tone, some of the garden green ink right on the garden green circle. It's not required. You'll see it's going to look really happy just with the green paper, but adding that little bit of texture with a stamp or with a drawn image. If you have a marker, you could make stripes or polka dots. If you have an alphabet set, you could put letters like HB for happy birthday, or spell out the person's name or initials. Or you can leave it just as is. It's a nice, clean green piece. But what I'm going to do is add some notes to this turtle, to the circle, I mean. So when I'm working with a photopolymer stamp, I need to have a cushion under me because this kind of stamp doesn't have any foam in it. When we work with red rubber stamps that come with the kits that you borrow from the library, if you picked up one of those supply kits, then that would have a piece of foam and it gives a cushion to the stamp. Photopolymer stamps don't have that. So that's why I work with like a mouse pad or a piece of craft foam, something that can give a little bit of cushion. This color is called Garden Green. And I'm going to take my little music note stamp, and just all over in a pattern, I'm going to add that visual texture here. It's not texture you can feel, but it's texture you can see. Sometimes in your kits, you have a piece that I've embossed for you with my Stampin' Cut emboss machine and an embossing folder. And what that does is it actually smushes the paper into a design. That could be floral or straight, or we have one that has the turtle look of the turtle shell. But I'm just adding that texture, that visual interest to the shape. Then we'll take our dimensionals. We're going to add our turtle to our circle. Now, we don't have to decide quite yet which direction he's going to face on the card or how we're going to put him together. Now we're simply putting him onto the circle. Okay, so I'm going to move this away again. Peel away the liners, lots of liners tonight. I love using dimensionals. Almost all my projects use dimensionals. They're certainly on every order that I place from Stampin' Up. There we go. So now I have my turtle. He is serenading us, okay? And I then can decide now how I want to orient my card. If I want to have a vertical orientation or a horizontal orientation, okay? Move this here. Hi, family. Hi, husband. Welcome. We're making our turtle card tonight. I got my hair done. Yes, my husband's complimenting on my hair. I just got it done this afternoon, so thank you. Welcome to Bill. He's here. So I am going to decide whether I want it a vertical orientation or a horizontal orientation. And remember, it's this little piece here, this circle piece that's going to hold it like a latch. And because my turtle is facing to the right, it almost looks like he's marching right off the page, and that's okay. But I would prefer for him to be marching into the happy paper. So this time I'm actually going to open my card in a non-traditional way. This is how it would open in Japan. They open books from the right to the left. Here, and usually traditionally in North America, we do it this way. But it's fun often to have a card that is a little bit of a surprise. So now I know this is how I want to line up my pieces of designer series paper. And like Julia, you should flip them over and see if you have a really fun one that you want to showcase, that you want to feature. But the stripy one needs to go over in this space. This is a little more narrow than the other pieces. And so it's designed cut to fit right here. Let's add some adhesive and we'll tuck that in. It's going to leave a nice white frame all the way around. And when it opens, it'll tuck back under there. And then we have 3 pieces of decorative paper to play with. I love the yellow. I think it because of the music notes and because it's that bold, bright color. You'll see if you have a banjo guy or a drummer or a trumpet player, there's also an accordion. They all have these colors mixed in. So it's up to you how you want to piece them. But I especially enjoy the music one. I'm going to put my turtle one the furthest away from the green so that before I glue them, I'm going to kind of lay them out. I like the dots, the yellow, the green, and I'm going to layer it in this fashion. So the music notes just continue right out of his trumpet. Okay. So let's go ahead and put these guys on. Now I'm going to start with the one at the folded edge because I've cut them for you so that it's going to have that white margin all the way around. Don't worry about perfection here. We want to have stripes and they don't have to be exactly straight. We're going for joy and not stressful precision. So take your time lining them up. They are cut to fit. So there's a nice little white space in between each one. You also could do them spread out diagonally. Sometimes people like to make a card, especially one that's whimsical like this, with like crooked pieces on purpose. And that's kind of a fun thing to do too. So every time that you join us for our class, you can use the supplies any way you wish. And what brings me the most joy is hearing from you how you gathered something from last month's leftovers and combined it with this month's and so on. As you know, you can go back and watch the YouTube recordings of our channel, our card making series. There's a playlist in the Baldwinsville Public Library YouTube. So that's a fun thing on a rainy day. Go through and be inspired with different layouts and different supplies. And we do have some kits left at the library when we have leftover ones, and it's great fun to know that those can be enjoyed as well. Now, when I put my circle on here, I have to be careful that I don't put any adhesive over on this edge. I only want the adhesive to be on this little half circle and then a couple pieces over here to hold the circle in place. But this has to be an open flap for the hinge, so I'm not going to put any adhesive over on that side. I can take the dimensionals, see, this is a good example I can share with you. I've used up almost all my little hexagons, so I'm going to simply snip off from this long strip, and I'll have some very nice pieces to work with. And let's see, the best thing maybe to do would be to put them over here on the turtle, on the back of the circle, so I can just check and make sure that none of the adhesive is going to hang over that white edge. And I can put it in place like that. Happy turtle. And then this piece now just flips under and it's a latch. So sometimes when we make fun folds, you almost have to send instructions to the recipient on how to open it. But this one I think will be pretty clear. This looks like something you would flip, and then it will open like that. So let's add our greeting inside because it's turtly awesome card. We want to have a turtly awesome birthday greeting. And you can handwrite a message that's clever like this turtle pun. You could print something on your computer. You can let me know you want to borrow my stamp set or order one for you. I'm happy to share. And if you like that turtle greeting, you could come to the library on the Friday morning. Tomorrow is our day to be our in-person kit class. And I have some really fun new ones. One is, I can't remember what it's, there's something blues, but the cards are just beautiful, like indigo blue. It reminds me of, did you ever do sun prints growing up? There was special film, like paper that you'd buy, and you could put it in the sun with a fern on top or leaves, and the light would transfer the chemicals in the paper. It reminds me of that. Okay, so here's my card. And the last thing to add are these happy gems. Now, this time you have five, and five is an odd number, so it works well, either three or five. I'm going to go ahead and use all five. I love that they're the color of the dots and that they're the shape of those dots. So I think it really pulls things together in the card.
Yeah, Missy,
What? Yes.
I wondered if you could move everything. Let's see, it'll be to your
Oh,
right. There we go.
yes, you're right. I've been off
Up a
center
little bit.
tonight a little bit. Thank you.
There. Thank
And
you.
I forget the way I'm sitting is this part is further away from me. I have to remember I want to be centered. Thanks for pointing that out. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'll center this one in the middle. I have
There we go.
five, thank you. I have five dots, and I'm going to put three up here and two down here. So it's the odd number, but again, it's pulling our eyes across the card. So, and I love again that they're these fun, they look like candy dots a little bit. Remember those strips of candy that you could um, have on the, um, what do you call it? The strips, they're like little wax paper, long strips that had candy dots on them. So that's just kind of fun. You can put them anywhere you like. You can choose to make your card any orientation, but wouldn't this be a delightful, cheerful card for anyone? And it doesn't have to be for the birthday. These are just band members ready to sing a happy song to your friends. So I hope that that will bring joy to you. I think these guys are a lot of fun. And the banjo man here, the turtle. This one I got some smudges on, but when that happens, it's handmade with love, right? It's a very personal greeting when it has my fingerprints on it. Very personalized. All right, so let's bring back in our cards from tonight. I'd love to know what is your favorite. That's always fun to hear what people enjoy most about our class and who you might send your card to. That's always interesting as well, because we don't want to just make cards. We want to send cards. We want to share that sunshine with our friends and family, coworkers, and people you meet at the grocery store. You can brighten someone's day. Thank you, Julia, always for being our host and managing all of the computer elements here. Um, I also want to remind you I enjoy requests. So if you have something you'd like to learn about, um, I've had several requests recently for heat embossing, and that's a harder thing to do virtually because you might not have those tools or supplies. But if that's of interest to you, I'll be talking with Julia to see if it's something I can share at a Friday morning. So you could come and actually try it. You know, we'd still do the kit stuff, but we'd also have an opportunity for you to try the heat embossing, which is really a magical technique. Or if you are on Pinterest or YouTube or talking to a friend about a certain kind of craft that intrigues you, I love learning new things or sharing with people things that I might know and that have been not that I haven't shared or practiced for a while. So please keep those requests coming. We love that you share this opportunity with your friends to let them know that the Zoom class is open to everyone. With the suggested donation of $5, you can pick up that kit and make the cards along with me at home, or just watch to get ideas for how you want to use the supplies in your stash. Hope to see some of you at our library in-person class tomorrow morning. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in June.
I also wanted to mention, oops, maybe. Yeah,
Yep,
you can hear
I
me,
see
right?
you.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yep.
that we still have some stamps at the library that we used to circulate a little kit that had stamps in it along
Right.
with the supplies. We still have those stamps. So if anybody out there doesn't have the right stamps to go with turtles or with music, you
Hmm.
can stop by, ask to speak to me, Julia Schultz, or to Dania or Julia, and that's Julia Schultz. Julia P is
Hmm.
new, so she may. I'll try to make Julia P aware of it too. But ask for Julia S or Dania, and we can take you down to the where the stamps are, and you can pick some to just borrow, and then bring.
Exactly. It's an extensive collection and a great way to be able to personalize your cards. And then there's ink you can borrow as well. So yeah, we don't distribute those each time normally because so many of the projects are include elements that are already pre-cut or stamped for you. But yeah, the library has that great lending library of stamps. So thank you, Julia, for that reminder. And we wish everyone a happy May. Be warm, be warm, and be dry. We seem to have a lot of rain in May, and maybe didn't have quite enough in April to bring all the Mayflowers ahead. But it's my joy to share some time with you each month. So thank you for taking part.
Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. See you next time, everybody.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.